Hello, I want to talk about this. Loyalty scheme for strikers to offer prizes to activists who attend multiple picket lines. This is in the Daily Mail. Again, I'm showing you the reader view because the online page of the Daily Mail is so full of pop-ups I can't even read it. So some of the graphics have gone and even the date's not there. This is from December the 27th, sorry. Okay, so before I carry on discussing this, I will tell you I'm granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds, and all the links to those other channels are in the description. I am also on Twitter, Gab and Parler, where I let you know of uploads. A lot of people tell me that YouTube aren't informing them, so that's why I went on to Twitter, Gab and Parler, where I am at granniopteryx. Also, what's the next thing? Yeah, where I am. You can help my channel by liking this video and by sharing it and by subscribing. And again, if you're on YouTube, check that your subscription is still ongoing because I've had complaints about that as well. You can also help me financially, buy me a coffee or Subscribestar or PayPal. The links are in the description. Right, that's it. Let's get on with this. So, union barons were accused last night of plotting a de facto general strike in the new year as they launched a loyalty card scheme designed to artificially swell picket line numbers. No, I'm not going to start talking about the split infinitive there, right? Okay, but I can't help but mention it. All right, the union-backed Strike Map organisation, which is union, not union by the looks of things, is offering prizes to left-wing activists who attend multiple picket lines. Now, I've said before, it looked like these strikes were all coordinated. This was earlier on when there were rail strikes, and I did notice that the drivers were on strike one day, then the cleaners the next day, then the security people the day after, which meant that the union members in the various unions were striking for one day only individually, I mean, as unions, but that the general effect would be that the trains were shut down for days at a time. And that seemed to me to smack of coordination. And here they're actually, I don't know what, giving you, I don't know, points on your loyalty cards. What? Free trips to Moscow in the summertime, if there's any Moscow left by then. Right. And so they're being offered prizes, regardless of whether they have any personal involvement in a series of bitter pay disputes. So activists who are in the drivers' union will get prizes if they go to the, I don't know what, the sewing machine workers' union strike in a couple of weeks. It has also established a wall of fame, this is the Strike Map organisation, for activists who take part in the most disputes. So there's a competition now. The more pickets you visit, the more free prizes you win, the group's website boasts. Now, you have to remember, this is our country we're talking about. These people are winning prizes for destroying our industries, our communications, our trust in our public services. And this is great. So you may stop the postal service and you'll get a book token or whatever, if you can read. But then, of course, the book token might not arrive because the post's not working. It comes ahead of weeks more of planned strikes, with border guards walking out at 7 ports and airports for another 4 days from today, along with driving examiners in some parts of England. The border guards, that's a really good case in point because the army could take that job over, and they've done a splendid job showing the border guards for a bunch of unionised slackers that they are. Right, sorry about all of this. Union barons have launched a loyalty card scheme. Oh, they repeat themselves, don't they? Pictured, picket line outside Waterloo ambulance. So, well, you're not getting the picture. It says rail workers will strike again across 5 days next week, and nurses will walk out for 48 hours over January 18th and 19th, and ambulance staff on 11th and 23rd. So you see this staggered thing again, where the hospitals will be brought to a halt, first by no nurses and then by no ambulances. Do you think that we are at war here? Because I am getting that idea. And as I've said before, if in 30 years' time they open the records and it is discovered that these people, or the bosses in any case, are in the pay of some foreign power who wants to distract Britain from the events going on in Eastern Europe right now, then I wouldn't be surprised. As a matter of fact, I'd be very surprised, because I doubt I'll be around in 30 years' time. But anyway, if you, my viewers, find that out in 30 years' time, just let me know in the ether. Tory MPs said last night the Strike Map initiative was further evidence that militant unions were coordinating efforts to damage the government. Yeah, well, they're not just damaging the government, they are damaging the country. And do you think that, now I'll have to find this, do you think that the Labour Party wants to take this lot over? No, they don't. And you can see that in the pronouncements of Sir Keir Starmer, who has now thrown his weight into the trans issue. I'll find a link here. Most sensible British people are flabbergasted by the way a lot of top politicians are talking about gender identity. And just as Jeremy Corbyn lost the Labour Party the election over the rampant racism they were showing before the 2019 election, so the Labour Party is going to do very badly over the trans issue this time. And I suspect it's because Starmer just doesn't want to be Prime Minister right now. His government would be like herding cats. He's got a lot of left-wing total nutters still in his party, and he's got a war going on that we are funding, not only in Eastern Europe, but with invaders. Yes, they are invaders. Illegal immigrants, illegal migrants are invading. They may not be doing it with stone axes, but they are invading anyway. And they are sapping our national budget. And they are taking up room in hotels which need the tourists. The whole situation is a chaotic one, and it strikes me as a war, really. And Starmer can't handle that. Because, the Labour Party's all peace and love, isn't it? Swelling picket lines with non-strikers also fueled concerns about a possible revival of the banned practice of using flying pickets. This happened this happened just before Margaret Thatcher took control, where members of one union would go and make picket lines along with members of other unions so that there'd be huge numbers of people outside strike closed factories. Well, she put in legislation to stop that. I don't know what Rishi Sunak can do, because he's too much of a milksop to do much. And like many milksops, I can imagine he won't do anything and then suddenly will overreact. Just lose his cool. And he'll go down as some sort of a pocket dictator, which he richly deserves, not because he's a pocket dictator, but because he shouldn't be Prime Minister in any case. He's not up to the job. And here we have a good example from the Labour Party. Apsana Begum, the MP for Poplar and Limehouse, tweeted, "I just joined the Strike Map Visit Picket loyalty card scheme. Support your local strikes and win free prizes." Can you imagine the stupidity of that? And would Keir Starmer like to be in charge of a government with people like that? as his backup. He'd hardly be able to talk across the house for turning around looking for the knives out, stabbing his back. Anyway, it says here rail workers will strike across 5 days next week. And yeah, there's no doubt that this is wholly political in its ambitions to cause a general strike to bring down the nation's finances and the government. I don't know who's saying that. Oh, the Tory MP Craig McInlay said, all right, well, yeah, that's it. We are at war. We are in the same sort of war as happened in the 70s. The trouble is, I don't see a Thatcher on the horizon. Okay, well, Happy New Year and till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.